So got the air compressor out here. Got the $20 bed liner gun. It's actually got two pieces here. This is from a $19 paint gun. This will be used for the pressure on here so it doesn't splatter. I've already test tickled this with some water, running it. It's going to splatter at a high velocity. So I kind of got this tuned down enough to where it'll work, but I have to get some pipe tape because it's still blowing out some air and fine tune it. Other than that, got this epoxy right here. And you definitely don't want to invest in this stuff. This 3M sandpaper here, this blue colored shit, that is some bullshit sandpaper. No matter what it is, no matter what grid it is, it's some fragile shit. So being here that I got my Chevy symbols ready to go over here for the, I'm putting two of them on this. I gotta sand these down. I'm putting two of them on these, on both sides, two Chevy symbols. I gotta fiberglass all of this where all this plastic is gone. After I knock all this Bondo down, fiberglass it, reinforce it, and then I'm fiberglassing the entire pieces here. But you wanna get some good sandpaper, grab a little bit of that right there. It's called Master Pro. So anyway, that they've associated with keywords again, moving on. So here's the dash. I just got a few spots, and over these ABS plastic cutouts that I made, I'm putting 3 more layers over this right here because I don't like how much movement is on that little bit there. So 3 more layers of fiberglass would be good. These are fine here. I put 4 layers over this here. I got this shaped up, so I got to put one little piece here, and I got to get these on the inside done, but I'm still trying to figure out how to go around them corners with the fiberglass mat. Fiberglass mat does not like to wrap around corners and flat surfaces. So I still have to shape all of this. This thing has gained a little bit of weight, it's no problem, and it has got a little arc to it from the dash cracking and dropping it, and that's okay. I still have to sand this. I'm about to invest in some MDF and some plywood so I can start building this dash insert, which I'm going to have my screen probably tilted towards me in the car a couple of inches, or a couple of centimeters, 11, 12, 13 degrees. But just the little bitty things. I plan on putting my security light right here if I get an alarm from my car, and the AC controls right here. So what I'm doing now is working on the AC unit. So I'm about to install it in the firewall, use the rest of the AC vent components after I figure out how to mount this dash to the firewall, because it's a little bit heavier, and before it was just 2 little screws that go right here through here and into the firewall, where we're skipping all that. So this has been sanded down too much right here where it's made it through to the old dash, so I got to put a little fiberglass there. But we're gonna flip this over for these sociopaths out in the world. Sounds like I'm going to get a little stressed out there, ain't it? But as you can see, it's starting to look really good here. This whole thing is starting to look really good to me. So once like I said, once I get all this shaped up, the dash actually cracked right up through here, which caused a little bit of an arc. So it's going to take a little bit of weather stripping. But before I'm able to align the AC vent from the AC unit up through here and to mount it to here, I have to have this dash mounted in the car. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to use a piece of metal bar. I'm going to cut a notch in here all the way across, probably notch it here, insert a metal strip, stainless steel metal in here, drill a hole, rivet it, put some elbow shaped brackets or whatever shape I end up with, and then bolt that to the firewall with a bolt and a rivet. So here I got to build this bracket that connects this piece over here that I got, that I've had to reconstruct, which is fiberglass now from last night. I need to let it set because it was broken and cracking. Like right there, that might be a crack I need to fix. But this right here fits here which as you can see, it's not going to fit. Plus I need to clear my AC vents that I bought from Amazon. So it's got to come out to right here, and it might have to be turned a little bit because of the arc of this and the mounting of it. So once I get that in there, it's got to be airtight, plywood, MDF, fiberglass, going from there, get that down. But this bracket I'm thinking is going to be notched here, about where the screws was going in. There's 2 screws that goes, 1 screw goes through here. Either way it goes, it's got to be done that way. And then all this fiberglass, I just got to go through here, knock all this down, cut these notches, take the weight, cut the weight off of it, cut all this weight off here where I got all my edges rounded. This right here was pool noodle foam. I've got my edges rounded. So the thing is, I plan on building a platform right here, bolted in this side, bolted in that side, and putting my fuse and relay boxes right behind this here and making them quick disconnect, make this whole thing pop out and drop down and pop back in like that with the relays and stuff. But I got all my edges rounded. I'm actually going to come in here and sand this stuff down and then round that up a little bit more, get it looking like this. Nice, smooth, round edge all the way around the car. I mean, round this here, just like this, where I've rounded the edges. That way, whenever I reach around something or reach up under the dash, it's all smooth like that there, that transition. So once I do that, get all that done on that inner side, I need to go ahead and start getting these straightened out for cigarette lighter, hazard light switch, underglow or amp turn on switch, and then underglow switch right here, AC switch, but I still need to get the AC switch to insert that, stuff like that. And then I'm trying to figure out how I can get in this to sand this down, to lay some fiberglass in here to make it all look tight and to round these edges off. As you can see, this big gap here, now that's from this having this arc and this being smooth. So underneath here, I got to take some layers off and reshape this, smooth it out, and then I can cut all the vents out and everything like that, get everything rounded, edged up. It's not a whole lot of nothing. Right here's my Audi A4 B7 interior lights where the hood hinge went. I'm not even going to need a hood lever at the end of the day because it's all going on a key lock on the top of the hood. So that'll be all right. And this here for my Audi A4 B7, I still got to put a little bit of fiberglass around this. And I didn't fiberglass this one area and put a little bit around here to reinforce this and on the back side of here. So it's just a little bit of stuff. But the big problem is, see, this is all smooth like that when you reach around in there for the quick disconnect. But the big problem is, and you can see it clearly right there, where it cracked right there. It just cracked right there and arced a little bit like that. So this side's cut. There'll be no AC vent on the original dash. There was an AC vent that went here and like one there. Those are gone. I've cut them out. I've only got these 3 vents, 1, 2, 3, and the one down here and the one right here. So 5 vents total on the whole AC unit that'll be running all of that. But that arc right there, where it's just boom, and then it's arced up. But this dash has got some weight. I got to take the weight off of it, go through here, my fiberglass, all this, cut this out. That way there's no dust and no debris flaking off like this here. I've already started that. So I could mount it to the firewall, I'm sure, somewhere else, because we're looking at this bolt, this bolt, this bolt. There's a bracket that comes down that bolts this bolt to that bracket, but this has got to be mounted to the firewall. Right here, this was the original slit. This has 2 holes drilled in it, which I'm fiberglassing all this away from this debris to insert my SS symbol on the other side, which is gloss white SS symbol. And got to come through here and, you know, feather in all of this stuff, dig out some of this cardboard paper, dig this stuff out, build this. I'll probably end up cutting that piece out right here, cutting that out because I'm building a housing to fit that piece. It doesn't matter because it's just cell phones and involvement 2024. So right here, on here, it'll be looking something like this. Let me find my Chevy symbol. So I will be putting a Chevy symbol right there, just like that. Right here it will say Monty Carlo, and then right here will be the SS symbol, and these will be stainless steel, shiny, you know, like the shiny metal with the Chevy symbol there. It's all got to be shaped. But I do have my AC vent handy right here to take a look at. And so these are like this with the bulge on the back. These open and close, and they rotate from left to right. So that, you got to keep that bulge on there. But this fits right in here like that. So you can get a good look at what that looks like. It's all about getting that cool air blowing. But anyway, that's okay. So we'll go on from that. But right now I got this out to do this bed liner. I'm going to bed line the inside wall and the outside wall of both of my fenders here, because I've already painted them, self-etching primer. I'm going over every piece of metal that you see. I've got it all taped off, self-etching primer on the opposite side, and I'm doing bed liner over all this. Rust-Oleum bed liner. It's super budget build because of stupid people. So other than that, here's the visors that are going to house these mirrors here, where I fiberglassed these original 1988 visors. I fiberglassed them. The only thing I have to do now is I have to sand all these edges down and round the edges off. And then I have to insert this exactly smooth with some caulking on the back, or something like that. Well, I have some more Chevy symbols here, so I'm going to Bondo fill these spaces, and then I'm going to insert that Chevy symbol there. It's just hot glued onto this ABS plastic, and then pop that off. It'll be a Chevy symbol there on the inside of the visors, and I'm probably going to do something on this back side. Get that done. Get them going there. Now this is my door rail trim that's been sandblasted. This holds the weather stripping onto the door right here. Well, in the process of sandblasting, this little piece of metal here, this little piece of aluminum broke off of right there that actually bolts this into the door. So I got to get that aluminum weld. I found a welder, but we'll see what he can do when it comes to the time. So this right here was the original piece for the driver's seat Monte Carlo dash air vent that hooks into the back of the dash cluster. Well, I've got rid of the dash, build my own dash cluster. This is that insert, which is going to go with the passenger side dash vent insert. I have to cut this off and put this onto here, fiberglass it all together, which after I figure out the direction of all this needing to lay, I will be able to fiberglass the seams and make sure all the air pockets are airtight on that. Because we won't need this here, this vent closed or open shit, and this whole thing's got to be cleaned up. Won't need that. But as you can see here, I've cut the driver's side bottom thing out where this is a 34-year-old car. So I'm not sticking with that. I'm cutting that out using the 3 vents here. But because of my dash being cracked on the one side. My dash being cracked on the one side. This has, oh, it's all right. The dash being cracked on the one side where my insert's going that I have to build. And then I have to get these lined up here to where the defrost vents are going to hook the defrost vents up, which I got an inch gap because of that crack on the dash that cracked. So that's going to take a little bit of different kinds of product here. And as you can see here, this is the more of my inside trim rails for the weather stripping. I've got them all self-etched and primered here, and this is what they look like after sandblasted with media. They look brand new. So here's more of them, which I'm getting those sandblasted because of this primer paint. I mean, you can just scratch it and it comes right off. This self-etching primer absolutely sticks. As well as this, getting all this paint sandblasted off the trunk end. I mean, the trunk locking mechanism. And these right here that will go on these fenders. I'm going to bedline these fenders. And I'm going to get these gloss white. And I'm going to do the firewall as a white and black checkerboard. And that'll be the only place that's got color on the outside. Will be the black Chevy symbols on the white gloss. I mean the white Arctic white on the outside of the paint job. The Chevy symbols will be black, where I've made my Chevy embossings on the outside of the car. And this will be gloss white. And these will all have to be, I've already self-tapped holes in them here because they was held down by staples. I've already self-tapped these to where they can be bolted with a washer, bolt, and stuff like that. So other than that, onto the tail lights. I've got the tail lights all fixed up. I got one. I have to do a little bit of fiberglass work there. Here is the tag pocket. So I fixed all the arcage on that and got this fully fiberglassed in here. I blocked off the original tag light areas. So I'll be putting Audi A4 B7 LED lights here for my tag lights, which are going to be brighter LEDs. And I'm also thinking about putting a red one here and connecting that to the brake lights. So it's all got to be on quick disconnect light function there. So I've had to fiberglass these fender wells and get them fiberglassed. So I have to put more layers over this, get these cleaned up. And I found another break on this one here where it is cracking, separating right there. So once I do that, we'll be in pretty good shape there. And as you can see, here was the original look on this 1988 Monty Carlo dash. The original one went like this. Of course, mine's going to say Monte Carlo, you know, SS with the Chevy symbol about where that Chevy word is. Something like that. But I put a lot of work into this, detailed work. And like I said, my 3-gauge cluster here facing towards me. Gas, voltage, stuff like that. And I plan on turning the dash in the same way. But I have to do the same pattern for that as the defrost vents on the inside. But I might end up using this Chevy symbol. I might end up cutting that out and using that. I could use it on them visors somewhere, but that's all right. Because they're all involved. So as far as this here, and like I said, this is the inside fender that's got a big crack. It's got a big crack right here. And so I got to repair this one. Get it nice and repaired. So upon receiving my powder coated parts for my 5.3 LS, as you can see that big chip, I asked the guy if he's going to be able to do this job, which was removing the seals from both of these rear main seal cover and the timing cover. He told me yes. And they was not broken before. which this is how I received it. So he did not complete the job as he stated he was going to. So in here I got ICT billet, brackets, trunk hinges, all gloss white. Right here, this is I think this one he did gunmetal balancer there, and valve covers off the original LS. I'm sticking with the original valve covers because I wanted to paint them gloss white, and the ones that I paid for, those were remakes and they were already painted silver. Here are these are for the windshield wiper motor. So this all bolts to the windshield wiper motor that is over here on the left side of, the driver's side of the car, that runs over here through a series of brackets that connect to windshield wipers. These are painted flat black. So another reason why I'm doing it the way I'm going to do it is for the black and white checkerboard pattern firewall. So also got all my bolts and everything from my ICT billet, alternator, power steering pump, ICT billet here. And I also got the Spider, because this is the Chucky. So I'm building this theme as Chucky on there on this white gloss or Arctic white background. This is my Spider that I'll be putting on my vehicle somewhere. Haven't decided where, but don't need to get its legs broken. So other than that, there's the valve covers. Most of the trunk hinges, as you see, there's the trunk hinges that are gloss white to match the inside of the trunk. I will not have any back seats in this build. Back seats are totally taken out, which I won't be making any more progress, ladies and gentlemen, other than what you see here on these 7 or 8 projects I got going on, until I establish a job and are able to make more money. So I'm just getting duped out of life right now, which that's okay, because I don't have to be involved with people. But this is the 1988 super budget Monte Carlo SS. I'm going to lift this car 10 inches and put it on some 26-inch rims that are going to be, I'm not sure if I'm going to paint them or keep them chrome, but I'm going to have my car lifted high enough that it's setting above my wheels. So if you've seen any of them cars, they lifted Monte Carlos, that's what I'm going for. And also interested in finding a 1979 two-door Malibu. So if you know any of that, Lonnie, get the Malibu. What is that?